It's 9 o'clock, at least on my watch. So we're going to go ahead and start. I want to really say a big warm welcome to all of you that are connecting with us today, whether it's morning or evening or anything in between. Welcome to this part 2 of the Tokyo Roadshow with the Tech Forever Accelerator. My name is Anna Söderlind, and I'm leading the Tech Forever initiative together with my colleagues from the Epiphany Innovation Park and as well as from Cork. So we have a really interesting and very fully charged morning ahead of us. So I just would like to go ahead and show you the agenda for today. So what we're going to see here is that we're going to start with just a few more words, and then the big thing for today is that we're going to look into startups, because from our previous roadshow this Tuesday, which I think quite a few of you joined, we really looked into how does the Japanese market work and what is really particular for the Japanese market compared to maybe the American, European, Australian, or Israeli, for example. So today we're going to really focus on startups. So we're going to have both the Tech Forever growth stage startups pitching, as well as we have 3 highly selected Japanese startups that we're also going to present. Then, of course, we will also talk more about the Tech Forever initiative. So really to explain to you what it is, why do we do it, and what are the aims. And we will also speak about the Swiss innovation ecosystem with Toshihiro Matasuda, that is the head of Invest Promotion at Swiss Business Hub Japan. So that's the idea for today. One very important thing, because we're going to meet very many people during the next 2 hours, is that in the end, I will present to you a form. So in that form, you can mark the people that you would like to have further meetings with, and we're going to make the matchmaking and organize that for you. So please take note on the side, who are the interesting people that would make sense and be interesting to meet for your organization. And I'll come back later with how we will do it and how you will meet the right people. So with those few words, I would like to hand over the word to my colleague, Nicolas Loyot, that will say a few words and introduce the first speaker. So Nicolas, the floor is yours.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Anna. So quickly, most of you know me now. I'm Chief Innovation Officer at Groupe Mutuel and co-founder of this Tech Forever program. And I would like quickly to introduce the next speaker, which is Matsuda-san from Swiss Business Hub. So Matsuda-san is based in Tokyo, based at the Embassy of Switzerland in Tokyo. He's a very senior innovation expert. He started his career at the American Chamber of Commerce from 1999, if I'm not wrong, and is working for the Swiss innovation system since 2012. He's promoting Japanese companies' business investment and open innovation in Switzerland. He has supported more than 100 projects by Japanese SMEs and multinational companies since then. And he will explain you about why Switzerland is systematically ranked among the most innovation countries in the world. I won't say usually number 1, but very high in the ranking, and how it works, and why this country is so innovative. So Matsuda-san, onegai shimasu, dozo.
Thank you, Nicolas-san, for the kind introduction. Let me share my presentation to you. And for those audience in Japan, konnichiwa, and for those audience in Switzerland, good morning. My name is Toshi Matsuda. I'm the head of the investment promotion of the Swiss Business Hub in Japan. So today I would like to introduce you why Switzerland is acknowledged as one of the most innovative country in the world, and also the innovation examples from Japan. So my presentation is written in Japanese for those audience in Japan for them to easy to understand. But I speak in English, so I hope everybody can understand my presentation. So basically, here is the basic information about Switzerland. Switzerland is located in the center of the Western Europe, and the area is almost the same with the Kyushu in Japan, and the population is about 8 million, and 25% is from overseas. That's one of the most characteristic in Switzerland. So Switzerland is not belonging to EU, so they use the own currency, Swiss francs. And national languages, they have 4 languages: German, French, and Italian, and Romansh. But the English, it's acknowledged as the almost the national language. So in doing business, English is common language, and almost every business people can speak English. So it's very easy for Japanese to have a business in Switzerland. So from here, I would like to explain why Switzerland is acknowledged one of the most innovative country in the world. And in the most indices like World Economic Forum, organizing Davos conference every year, and also IMT is one of the most prestigious business school in Lausanne. They they have a research almost every year, and they acknowledge Switzerland is one of the most innovative countries. So those are reasons, and one of the reasons is a productivity and a very high innovation. Education system. And as I mentioned, the very international experienced workforce and work motivations, and also foreign language abilities. So those Switzerland marks very top on the indicating. And also, as you already know, Switzerland is the neutral countries, permanently neutral countries since 19th century. And one of the reasons there are many, world organization is located in Switzerland, like United Nations, European branch, OECD, WTO, ILO, many others organizations located in Switzerland. Not only the political and the organizations, but the like sports associations, like FIFA, of course, Olympic associations are also located in Switzerland. So, the reason is the very neutrality, and so many national organizations located in Switzerland. And also, its economy is very competitive and very low national debt, and they have a very strong domestic industries. As you know, life science, Roche Novartis is located in Switzerland, and also watchmaking is very famous in Switzerland, and also private banking is very famous in Switzerland. So Switzerland have a very strong domestic industries. So those are also reasons, and also very low inflation rates and the unemployment rates. So it's very highly competitive economy. That's also the reason. As I mentioned, that Switzerland is not belonging to EU, but Switzerland is belonging to EFTA. It's part of the European Free Trade Zone, and also Schengen Treaty. So once, especially for Japanese, can get into the once get into the Schengen area, there's no passport control. They can move freely. But because of Corona, recently there are some restrictions. But basically, the moving within the Schengen area is very free. And so because of those free trade zone, and almost 50% of the GDP is exporting from Switzerland. So Swiss startups is borning from the, aiming to the export. So very competitive industry. And also free trade, also FTA with Japan is also a very convenient for the Japanese business. And Switzerland is the very same, there are lots of similarity with Japanese. In Switzerland, work hour for Swiss people is very long. As you see, it's number 3 in the world. And so, especially for Swiss people, they're very long, very early in the morning. So, it's very easy to work with. And one other reason is also very flexible labor law in Switzerland. In other countries like Germany and France, because of the very strong union, it's very difficult to terminate work contract from the company reason. But in Switzerland, it's very flexible, and within like a 3 months notice, it's easy to terminate the contracts. So that's another reason for Japanese companies to start business in Switzerland. So here at the famous educational institutions and research lab in Switzerland. So there are 2 national universities in Switzerland. Both 2 it's the technical universities. One in Zurich, and the other one is Lausanne. So this time in the EPFL is the co-organizer of this event, and EPFL is the second one, very famous university in Japan, in Switzerland. And there are other very famous institutions like CERN. It's very famous for Japanese the research of the Higgs. And there are a number of other institutions famous for the research in Switzerland. So recently, there are the national project of the innovation centers in Switzerland. And there are 5 Switzerland innovation parks, and they are very interested in working with the Japanese research institutions and the Japanese companies to have an open innovation in Switzerland. Other than these Switzerland innovation parks, there are several research institutions in Switzerland. One is the Swiss Next, and which is mother organization is the State Secretary of Education, Research, and Innovation. So they are promoting Swiss educational institutions and research activities and open innovations. And so they are promoting to the world. And they're also promoting the Swiss startups to Japanese audience. And Science Technology Office in Embassy in Japan is the contact. And there are other institutions like InnoSwiss. They're also promoting Swiss startups and the innovation project and promoting to the world. So here, let me introduce you the example of the open innovation of Japanese companies. And most recent, very interesting example is Japanese largest telecommunication companies, NTT. So they have the open innovation, opening up the open innovation lab in Switzerland Innovation Park, Biel. And they work with the Germany company Siemens. They are testing connectivity environment for the European project of the European project, and they are belonging to the Switzerland Innovation Park BUBN, the Lighthouse project. And they explained why they chose Switzerland. Those are four reasons, and they are key players and already in Switzerland, like Siemens, and also they are very highly established open innovation environment, also a very highly innovative level of universities in Switzerland. And also they're very understandable for the environmental problem like the SDGs. And also Switzerland Innovation Park is a very supportive. Those are reasons they chose the Switzerland as a location for the open innovation. Another reason is Yokogawa Electric. They opened up a lab in 2020. So Yokogawa Electric is very famous, Japanese measurement companies. But they think, measurement business is, there's no much future. So they try to get into the, bio business. So they open up the Center of Excellence in Switzerland Innovation Park, Basel. And obviously, which is the center of the bio business in the world. So they open up the innovation lab for watching the latest innovation, movement, and they try to invest to those kind of a very interesting, bio project from Switzerland. And those are reasons why they chose the Switzerland. And one of the reasons is the very high talented, place, and also the center of the life science. Basel is the center of life science, and very competitive tax system, and a very neutral and very stable economy and economic system. So those are reasons why they chose the Switzerland as a location for center of excellence. Another reason, another example is Idemitsu company. So they are very famous for the petrol business in Japan. But at the same time, they have the organic EL business, and they have opened up the lab also in Basel. They have the lab in Japan, but they lab in Japan, the lab in Switzerland is like a almost like competing each other to have the better developing the better material for the Idemitsu, the future of the organic EL. And those are reasons they chose the Basel. It's the Basel is the one of the center for the fine chemical, and also very supportive government, and also collaboration with the university and cluster and research lab is very easy. So those are the reasons why they chose the lab in Switzerland. And here, the five companies in the presenting today, and those startups are presenting today, and very interesting, femtech startups from Switzerland. And also Ferring Pharmaceutical is one of the sponsoring companies, this time. So those the very interesting, Swiss, companies presenting this time. So here's concluding my presentations. In our organization, Swiss Business Hub, there are three major activities. One is the promoting Swiss SME to Japan. So we are doing whatever the support to good access for Swiss SME to Japan. And the second activity is the promoting Japanese business and investment into Switzerland. And third one is promoting Japanese open innovation into Switzerland. So here, the left is my access to the business card, online business card. So please let us know if you're interested in working with the Switzerland. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for the very good and great presentation. We have a few minutes if we have any questions from the audience. I saw there was one in the chat, so we can go ahead and start with that one. Hila, if you're there, I will leave the floor to you to ask your question.
Yeah, I was surprised not to see Israel in any of the graphs presented in the presentation.
You mean in terms of the long work hour, or in terms of the
everything? All of your graphs in your presentation do not include Israel. I find it kind of interesting that Israel would not be in the first line of innovative countries. So I would be interested to know what INSEAD research from 2018 says about where the position of Israel.
Okay, I quoted my my data from IMD and World Economic Forum. So I understand in the statistics, there's no Israel is not listed, unfortunately. Sorry, next time I will take the data.
It's just it's just interesting.
Yeah.
So we have time for one more question, if there are any from the audience. Either you can go ahead and just unmute yourself or write in the chat. Allow just a little bit of time. And if not, I invite you to connect with Matsuda-san through his either the QR code that was shared or in the form that we will share later. And then I would like to move on further to the next point in the program. So now we're gonna talk more about Tech for Eva, because I see in the list of participants, we have many names, many people that haven't attended nor the opening ceremony or the Tuesday roadshow. So this is really for you to better understand what is really Tech for Eva, what do we do, and what is the aim. And for that to present, I have Nicolas Loyot and Lan Tu from the EPFL Innovation Park, and they will give us a better view of the program. So Lan and Nicolas, I leave the floor to you.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. I will maybe start with the vision that we had together. And maybe just a quick introduction about Groupe Mutuel. I think it's necessary for some people, especially in Japan, to understand who is Groupe Mutuel. Groupe Mutuel is the #1 health insurance in the French-speaking Switzerland, and #3 nationally. So we deal with health, patrimony, life, and everything which is around the individuals. So that's the core of the business. We have 1.5 million individual clients and 26,000 corporates that and the corporates, they could be pretty big companies like General Electric or Richemont or people like this, or small SMEs, as most of the industrial market in Switzerland is made of SMEs. That's one particularities of Switzerland as well. So we want to change the healthcare system. We want to improve it. We want to improve the life of people. This is the mission of a health insurance somehow. And as a health insurance, it is important for us to have the biggest impact on people's health. And while women are 50% naturally of the population, women's health is only attracting a little 4% of the health investment. So there is a big gap here. It's absolutely not normal, as women are the base of the society. And we want to bridge this gap. This is the original idea that we had behind Tech for Eva. We can't do it by ourselves as a health insurance corporate company. We want to make it with the maximum of people. And this is why we created this innovation platform as a to federate the innovators in this domain. And we want to bring together the startups, the corporates. We want to create co-development opportunities and to get the maximum size to attract investment, to make it sustainable on the long run, so that the system is growing. And maybe my colleague Lan will tell you more about the philosophy. We can't hear you, Lan. You're on mute.
I'm muted. Thank you, Nicola, for the intro. So the Tech Forever initiatives built on the principle that we're going to run the program, the accelerator, by 100% equity free, because we would like to offer our resources in Switzerland as well as around the world, and also our experience to help femtech startups and also to help all those who would like to develop solutions to improve women's health. And currently, this initiative is built on the complementary resources of the two founding partners, Grail, as Nicola already explained, and also Epiphany Park. Here, I also allow myself to say just a few words about Epiphany Park. Actually, it's a private and public organization. We are located next to EPF campus, and we are hosting around 200 startup company and the innovation units of large corporates. So around the campus, there are already close collaboration between startup and corporates. We are hosting almost 2,500 talents, innovators, and also entrepreneurs. So therefore, our contribution to this program is our experience of hosting and also incubating, coaching, accelerating the startups to bring them to success. And over the years, we have already incubated over 500 high-tech startup companies. So this is our contribution. We would like to team up with Group Grail, who provide financial support, who that also offer their extended expertise and access to Swiss healthcare systems, and to bring their insight about the state of the arts in the prevention and also in treatment. We built this initiative also based on the model of close collaboration between corporate and startup, because these two parts has a lot to learn from each other and also to help each other. So in this regard, we are involving corporate professionals as a mentor to bring their expertise and also business networks. Finally, we like to grow this initiative through international partnership. Today is one of first trial to reach out with the help of our international partners. So our goal, first of all, is to raise awareness. First of all, raise awareness that femtech, women's health need better attention, and femtech solutions and startups are actually very interesting asset class for investment. And we would like to also develop solutions to bring concrete solutions to improve women's health, and by doing so, to foster an engaged community with not only women but also men. Next slide, please.
We started we started a call for application in March. It was pretty recent. And we received 110 applications from all over the world. There were 33 startups coming from Switzerland, but all the others were coming from the rest of the world. It was quite interesting because usually the ratio of women founders in high tech or in startups are less than 10%, and what we received is more than 65% women founders as applicants. That was quite interesting. So we decided to take an inclusive approach to Tech Forever, not to reject startups, but to include them into a large community. There's simply a different program for different types of maturity and everything. We decided to focus on two groups, 15 for early startups, so that we consider as early stage startup. Typically, they didn't raise or they didn't went into the Series A. That's kind of criteria for us. 15 startup we are more considered as growth stage startups. So they already have a market, they make sales, and they raised a significant amount of money. And the 100 of the full community is part of the program anyway. So probably there are some companies today who are part of this community as well. The split is pretty well balanced. We have 37% of the startup which are coming from Switzerland, which is quite normal for us. And 46% are coming from the rest of Europe, so European startup, including the UK. And we have 5 startups which are coming from the US, from Israel, as we discovered already, and 1 startup from Singapore. In terms of splits of domains, we naturally have a normal split, which is quite reflecting the state of the market. So we have 11 startups coming from the operating in the fertility and pregnancy domain, 6 startups in the women wellness. 6 startups in the women's medicines, was much more deep tech thing. 3 startups in the period health, 2 startups in the menopause, and 2 startups in the mental health. What is interesting is the split on the different stage of the healthcare system. So we have a pretty well balanced split of the startup this year. 8 startups are in the prevention. The biggest part is in the treatment, of course, it's 14 startups, and 8 startups in the care segment. What is care? Care is everything which is not medical. For instance, everything which is related to health, to period health, to wellness, and everything which is not in the prevention or in the treatment. We consider that as a care in the care segment. We, as Lan said, we are growing the ecosystem. We made some agreements with different players around us, but it's growing every week. In the corporate domains, we have a Ferring. Ferring is a fertility pharma company, as most of you know, and I think we have some attendees from Ferring Japan. I saw that. We have Merck. We have Debiopharm. Debiopharm is a Lausanne-based company which is very active in Japan as well, and historically their first clients and first history were based in Japan. We have Philips, and we have different startups and successful startups like Ava Women, which is in the fertility domain. Preglem, Sun Biosciences, and we have a partnership with industrial clusters, the Swiss Biotech Association and the BioHubs in Switzerland.
So as of today, we have 20 mentors. They are all industrial experts specialized in life science or in the ecosystems. Among them, we have CEOs of corporate venture funds from the Biopharm and also from Merck. We have Swiss accredited business coach from Swiss Innovation Agency, as well as other investment professionals. So it's a quite large team. The idea is to help these startups to develop their business model and also to reach out for business connections. So how the Tech Forever program is structured? Actually, we set up distinguished goals with the three groups that Nicola just mentioned. So for growth, for the 15 growth startups that has a proven business model, has already existing products and services, or have got market traction through investment or customer base, we would like to help them to further develop their business, to help them to meet investors, etc. So through a series of activities such as deep dive workshop, a peer-to-peer experience, international roadshow, as we do now, and as well as fundraising activities. Now, for the relatively early stage startup and project that are still developing their business models, we develop a series of training activities to help them to improve their value proposition, to help them to refine their business models, and to have more individual coaches from professionals. But this is not all. We would like to involve everybody that are interested in this topic, including those who are attending our events today, to come to meet through the format of a focus group. We're going to develop a 4 distinguished focus group dealing with respectively the issues, for instance, pregnancy, fertility, menopause, well-being, etc. So in this focus group, we are going to involve medical experts and industrial professionals to chair the group. The idea is to have people to meet together to try to solve problems, to solve unmet needs, to meet unmet needs of in the area. So the idea is to foster exchange and also the cross-fertilization of new idea and new projects. So here is what it does look like for the growth startups. As you can see, there are layers of activities, including expert workshop, roadshow, as I mentioned, peer-to-peer experience, and also the individual mentorship by corporate experts and business coach. Just give you a flavor of what we're going to do for the growth group.
I mentioned it before. There is we sign agreements with different international partners. It's quite important for us to federate. So we federated with some UK's companies. So there is the Women of Wearables, which is quite a large community of femtech oriented initiatives. We had the support from the embassy in the UK. Not only so this slide we need to update it with the Swiss embassy in Japan as well. We benefit from the SwissNext network that Matsuda-san presented before, which is a national international network for the promotion of Swiss innovation around the world. We partner with Joyance. Joyance is a VC. They're based in the US and UK as well, and they focus on one of the segments, one of their first segment is femtech, and they are they have different positioning than the traditional VC. In Japan, we had the opportunity to have Leah last Tuesday and Ferring in globally as a partner. So we are on a cause. That's something which is quite important to understand. It's not about making money or whatever. The purpose of what we're doing is really a cause, and we would like you to join us on this thing. That's the name. They are the names of the 15 early stage startups. Some of them will pitch today, and on the next slide we have the list of the other growth stage startups. So most of them will pitch today, but there is a mix of the two, and of course we can provide you with the details and the contacts for all of these startups.
Thank you so much, Nicola and Lan, for this presentation. So before we jump into the pitches, because soon we will listen to the pitches of first the Tech Forever companies and then from some Japanese companies, I would like to open up the floor if there are any questions with regards to Tech Forever. So is there somebody that would like to take the opportunity now to ask something to either to Lan or to Nicola? It's very quiet, but give a few more seconds. If you have any questions, you can also write in the chat and I can post a question if you don't want or not can unmute yourself. Maybe you are in a... So we have one. Are all companies pitching today fundraising? So not all companies pitching today are very, very active fundraising for a round that will close tomorrow. But as all companies are startups, they are growing, they are relatively young companies, I'm sure everyone would be interested to discuss more about fundraising opportunities. If the right opportunity is there, I'm sure the large majority would be open to discuss the topic.
Yeah, I will complement a little bit, Anna, which is we are currently running an assessment about the fundraising needs within the Tech Forever community. So we will be able to have very precise answer to this question in a few weeks. So once we have finished the full fundraising assessment. And Liasan, definitely we can keep you posted on this, and anyone who is interested in this topic. But for sure, the startup who are pitching today and the startup who are here today are definitely interested in investigating the Japanese market as a new opportunity for them. I think we understood last Tuesday that there is an opportunity, and today the objective is to investigate further on this market.
So then I would suggest that Metabolomic gets ready, because I will leave the floor and the 2 minutes to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna, for the introduction. So good afternoon and good morning, depending on where we are. So I'm Robin Turton, CEO of Metabolomic Diagnostics in Cork, which is based in Ireland. Like many of the companies presenting here today, we at Metabolomic Diagnostics have the ambition to make an impact on humankind by improving health. Metabolomic Diagnostics believe that the best moment in life to do so is in pregnancy, because at that time one has the unique opportunity to directly impact on the health of two generations, namely a mother and her child, and make a lifetime change to their health for the better. Currently, a key focus of prenatal care worldwide is picking up the early symptoms of complications like preeclampsia or preterm birth in the second half of pregnancy. When such symptoms are identified, this often leads to an emergency intervention like the immediate delivery of the child, which has risks, of course. At the same time, it is shown and known that the health impact of these complications of pregnancy can be modified by interventions aimed at preventing the condition of occurring altogether or mitigating the severity of the health impact. However, to change the impact of these complications of pregnancy, one needs to find out early in pregnancy which pregnant women would benefit most from an intervention, and equally important, from which intervention. So the team at Metabolomic Diagnostics is dedicated to developing the diagnostic tools to do just that, and demonstrate to the diagnostics world that by smartly combining patient information together with biomarker information, which are molecules that circulate in a mother's blood, one can predict the risk of pregnancy complications early, and that will in turn enable prenatal care providers to advise pregnant women about the best intervention for the pregnancy and prevent the complications happening altogether. Currently, Metabolomic Diagnostics is finalizing the prototype of Prepsia, a product for preeclampsia risk screening, and we are actively looking for partnerships to progress our technology to the market. If you are interested in learning more about our company and our journey, don't hesitate to reach out to us via the email or via the Tech for EVA forum. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much. So we will now move on because unfortunately we will not have time for questions after each pitch. But after all the Swiss startups have pitched, we will have a short break for questions. And then we will also have a similar break after the Japanese. So take note of your questions so you don't forget them in the end. And now we're going to hand over to Andrea at Aspivix.
Thank you. I'm Andrea from Aspivix, and I lead the marketing and the sales organization. We are a Swiss-based startup indeed. And at Aspivix, we do have a mission and a vision, and it is to make gynecology now modern. And the way that we live our vision every day is by developing solutions that will empower clinicians to deliver the best possible care to their female patients. We are a B2B company, and our first product is a solution to a real problem in gynecology. So if we could move to the next slide, thank you. And the problem is called the tenaculum. It's this device that you see here on the left. It impacts more than 80 million women every year in very common office-based procedures. And it was invented over 100 years ago and hasn't changed much since. It's just really remarkable. And this device is quite effective indeed, because you can see that these hooks on the end, they work by really piercing that cervix in order to stabilize and causing, as you can imagine, significant pain and significant bleeding to the patient. But very soon, if we could just move to the next image, but very soon, clinicians and their female patients will have an alternative. Meet-Carvix is the brand name of our device. This is a device that you see here. It's a next generation cervical device that uses suction technology to gently secure the cervix without compromising performance. And what we have seen in our first in women clinical trials on the first pilot that we completed at the CHU, which is a university hospital, very renowned in Switzerland and in Europe, that it has reduced 80% of the pain, and we have observed no bleeding. So really a remarkable results. And if we move to the next image, we will see how the device actually works. Here you can see how gently it works on the cervix, delivering no pain, no lesions, and no bleeding. So with that, we are really looking forward to working with the entire ecosystem to get this product in the hands of the clinicians and the patients that we need it the most. And to answer one of the questions, yes, we are currently fundraising. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. So now we're going to go from Switzerland to Israel, and we're leaving the floor to Hila.
Hi. My name is Hila Shaviv. I'm the founder, the investor, and CEO of Gal's Bio, and I will present to you Tripon. We like to call it the new internal wearable device for inside information. Next. So all of us would love to know, I'm sure, how is our body doing? Do we have any cancer growing inside of us? Unfortunately, for women genital cancer, all the available technology is either expensive and cancer is detected at the late stage. At the same time, all women are secreting various vaginal secretions that contain various biomarkers to their health. And this is including cancer cells. Next. Lately, there is more and more literature connecting between vaginal secretions and cancer detection. So our goal in Gals Bio is to change the reality where secretions are simply being discarded, and to enable women to detect cancers at an early stage at the comfort of their home. Next. Okay, so this project is divided into 3 phases. In the first phase, which is already completed, we develop what we call the Holy Grail for vaginal secretion collection. It looks like a tampon, but it functions like a menstrual cup with a one-way valve. And next. This device, as I mentioned, is already functional and is now being tested right here in Israel. And here you can see our initial results for collecting menses. Next. The next phase of this project, which is where we are at, and yes, we are fundraising, is to take all of the various vaginal secretion and to take them to a lab and to develop and find the biomarkers for genital cancer. In the future, our goal is by an interaction between Tulipon and the smartphone, women will be able to do everything at home, at the comfort of home, but with the accuracy of a lab. Next. Obviously, this is a very huge market. And next. And we have various business model options, including B2B, B2B2B, and B2C. Next. And next. And we are fundraising. In order we can be in the market within 3 years, and we are fundraising now $6 million to do that. Next. And I would like to thank all of my great team. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here talking to you, which are all supporting me in this vision and in this journey. Next. And I will be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we're going to move on straight to Impli. The floor is yours.
Hi everyone, and apologies that my camera is today not playing with me, so I'm kind of half dark. But thanks everyone for listening to us today. Impli specializes in implantable technologies that enable people to monitor their healthcare status in real time. And our first market is the IVF treatment market. Next, please. Currently, women undergoing IVF treatment have to closely monitor their hormone levels every 2 to 3 days so that clinicians can adapt their treatment protocols better. Clinicians then personalize their treatment and have an average success rate of 15 to 30%. Impli wants to enable women to monitor their hormone levels with an implantable so that we can increase the safety, save time and money, but also increase the precision and, of course, therefore, better the outcome. Next, please. Our implantables are very small devices with biosensors that can be read with any smartphone and interface to a mobile phone app that enables the data points to be analyzed. Next, please. With this, we envisage a platform that enables many stakeholders to be able to access this data and ultimately lead to enabling guided decision-making for clinicians, improved R&D for pharma companies, and enable insurance companies to better insure for infertility. However, most of all, what we want to achieve is that we want to empower women with real-time data about their hormonal status. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we're gonna now, without further ado, move on to Fisi Med and Emmeline.
Hi, this is actually Katharina from Physimed. Emmeline couldn't join today, unfortunately, so I'm popping up shortly. So Physimed is a France-based startup developing EMI, which is a connected biofeedback medical device for pelvic floor training at home. Next, please. So actually, the topic we are addressing is urinary incontinence of women, which is a major public health problem worldwide. There's actually statistics are varying between 1 out of 3 up to 1 out of 10 women suffering from urinary leaks or urinary incontinence. And actually, it's not a problem that is limited to elderly people, but 70% of women affected are less than 55 years old. Most of the time, women got concerned by the problem as soon as they get pregnant and deliver a baby. So it actually affects women of all ages, so from young moms to mid-stage women to menopause problems, and also sports women, because the pelvic floor is affected. So actually urinary incontinence is linked to pelvic floor muscle tone, and it's important for women to train their pelvic floor during their whole life in order to prevent and treat urinary leaks. Next, please. So the pelvic floor is actually working like a hammock that contains all the inner organs, and it was shown to be critical for urinary incontinence. So it's important to train the pelvic floor in order to recover postnatal, to increase bladder control, to avoid prolapse, to improve the intimate well-being, to prevent urinary leaks, and to preserve the pelvic floor while exercising. Next, please. So the product that we've developed is EMI. It's a connected and certified biofeedback medical device that allows women to train the pelvic floor at home. Next, please. So the unique selling points of our product is that compared to other solutions, EMI device is actually easy to use, fun, and it's efficient training that women can do discreetly at home. Everything is based on certified medical protocols. It's a very innovative biofeedback technology. Women can follow up their long-term personal progress. It's possible to obtain personalized protocols from their healthcare professionals, and everything meets highest medical quality standards. Next, please. So this is the team of our founders. Emmeline is in the middle of the picture, and we are currently already distributing in more than 15 countries worldwide. Our mobile application is available in up to 12 languages, and we would be very interested to further develop our international distributor network. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we're going to move on to Jim Towles and Nimrod.
Konnichiwa. Vaginitis, inflammation of the vagina, is one of the most common female clinical disorders, and it is the reason for 1/3 of all gynecology clinic visits. And most women will experience at least one episode of vaginitis during their lifetime. Some experience more than 4 episodes each year. Vaginitis is a general diagnostic for multiple conditions, both infectious and non-infectious, and is hard to diagnose by a non-expert physician and labs. Almost half of the symptomatic women are misdiagnosed in first clinic visits and receives inappropriate treatment. This mistreatment is leading to continuous patient suffering, loss of confidence in their physicians, consumption of wrong medications, repeated clinic visits, health complications, and huge redundant expenses to payers. Next slide, please. For this reason, we founded GynTools, and we're solving this problem with Genie, the first point-of-care diagnostic system that accurately diagnoses all major vaginitis conditions within minutes from a single swab. We developed a scanner and a dedicated sampler that, together with machine learning cloud-based algorithm, gives an accurate diagnosis within minutes. We have ISO certified, hold CE mark, and already working with a Swiss distributor and Israeli HMOs to start sales later this year. We are looking for an A-round investment partner and strategic partners. Please feel free to write me. Thank you very much for listening. Arigato.
Thank you very much. So now we just passed half through the pitches from the Tech for Eva startups. So I hope you're taking notes and writing down your questions, taking notes who you want to meet, because all of that we will have the chance to discuss afterwards. And with that, I hope you are ready for the next presenter, which is Laurence from WOM.
Yes, hi. WOM is data science for women's health. I'm Laurence Fontenoy, co-founder and CEO of WOM. Yes, we are fundraising. We're at late seed levels. Next, please. Women lack personalized information and solution on reproductive health. Our solution is a WOM health tracker that assists women during the different stages of their life, from prevention, trying to conceive, pregnancy, up to menopause, empowering women to make the right decision about their reproductive health. Next, please. WOM collects 100 parameters of users' lifestyle, cycles, health, and biometric data to predict cycles or chances to get pregnant, give specific recommendations, and lever a powerful community through a robust set of data and technology based on neural networks. Our machine learning is unique. We use machine learning for predictive modeling with biometric data, for example, image recognition for specific fertility biomarker under clinical validation. We have specific algorithm for irregular cycle. Next, please. Great traction with 1.4 million registered users, 2 languages in 9 countries. 100,000 women have reported pregnancy. In Spain, by example, it's 5% of women giving birth. Our MRR in Q1 was $33,000 per month. Next, please. We monetize through B2B. We offer a SaaS, a B2B premium version of WOM for brands and then as an HR benefit to employers. So for example, we are launching next week for a large Spanish insurer a version of WOM for their clients with the goal to better attract and retain clients with a female-focused solution. We also make advertising and educational campaigns on our WOM B2C products, and we have analytical capabilities to do agile surveys and longitudinal research. Next, please. Our premium content is designed for all stages of women's life and family benefits. We work with experts in those fields. Next, please. We are a senior team of 24 people with extensive experience in tech. On the scientific side and data side, we have partnered with doctors and universities. Next, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So if you're using WOM and if you want to achieve a pregnancy, that will be the bridge then to the next startups. So I'll leave the floor to Matthias at MOM Diagnostics that will tell more about what MOM is doing.
Thank you, Anna. Hello, everybody. Very glad to be here. I'm Matthias Wipp, CEO and co-founder of MOM Diagnostics. So we're an early stage diagnostics company, and we are looking toward developing devices to improve the health of pregnant women and their unborn babies. Next slide, please. So in particular, we are addressing the condition preeclampsia, which has previously been mentioned by Metabolomic Diagnostics. It is a very dangerous pregnancy condition and actually the second leading cause of death around pregnancy throughout the world. It affects a lot of pregnancies, so 2 to 8% of all pregnancies are affected. And this leads to 500,000 infant deaths and more than 75,000 maternal deaths every year. So the only cure is basically an early delivery or an abortion that may become necessary. And on top of that, it causes a huge economic burden. Next slide, please. So we like to address this problem by improving the diagnosis and thereby saving lives. So our preeclampsia test can be applied throughout pregnancy during the routine clinical checkups, and this has key patient benefits. So our test allows to early and accurately identify a condition, and this is crucial to minimize complications, save the lives, as well as saving money. For example, if the condition can be identified in the first trimester, aspirin treatment can protect the mother and the baby from harm. Our test is a rapid blood test, which not only allows to identify women at risk early on, but also can also be used to monitor high-risk patients in the later stage of pregnancies. So this is an assist for the obstetricians. So they have the results directly on site, an immediate diagnosis. This means no complicated lab routines or time-consuming callbacks. Reduces stress and anxiety for the mothers, but as well for the doctors. And doctors can focus on outpatient management, meaning they don't have to send their patients to the hospital, and this reduces obstetric costs. Our test is based on a novel point-of-care diagnostics technology, which allows us to quantify low-abundant protein biomarkers in the mother's blood. And the test is based on a ratio analysis of multiple biomarkers. And preeclampsia is basically the first indication. So it is a platform technology that we're looking to expand to other indications as well. We are currently fundraising. We are raising a seed round. So if you're interested to learn more about Mom Diagnostics, please reach out, contact us. I saw the link is distributed in the chat, and you find us online at momdiagnostics.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we will continue fast because we have a lot to present this morning to Lisa at Breathe ILO.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisa. I'm CMO of Breathe ILO, which is a fertility tracker. And 48 million couples wait over 1 year to conceive. And 2 of them were my sister, you see on the picture here, and our CEO's parents. And they had a really long fertility journey. But with a fertility tracker, the chances would have doubled. And that's why, next slide, please. We brought a team together of 12 people to develop the easiest and earliest fertility tracker on the market, which is Breathe ILO. And it is based on breath analysis, which was researched by our co-founder, Professor Dr. Ludwig Wild, in the early 2000s. And research shows that the breathe correlates with the estradiol and shows a decrease 4 to 5 days prior ovulation. So the user needs only to breathe 1 minute per day into the handheld device and knows the fertile days in a second. She gets it displayed on the Breathe ILO app at any time of the day. And the advantages are clear. You can see it here. It's the easy usability at any time of the day. It's the earliest method on the market. And it's also sustainable because Breathe ILO is made without any consumables. Our topic is highly relevant. You can see this in the shows. We got feedback and also the media coverage we could gain over the past first year on the market. And we are now open to new markets, and we would love to connect and to get new partnerships started. So you can reach out to me via LinkedIn or also via email.
Morning, So we're going to move on fast now to MoveOn Therapeutics.
Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Diana, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of MoveOn Therapeutics, a clinical stage spin-off from the University of Zurich with the mission to advance a personalized cell therapy for skeletal muscle regeneration to help people regain control of life. Next, please. Now, we at MoveOn believe that personalized regenerative medicine solutions must be available and affordable for everyone. Thus, we are aiming at extending the potential of such therapies also to non-lethal yet seriously debilitating diseases. We have developed a platform technology using autologous cell therapy for skeletal muscle regeneration, enabling the self-regeneration of damaged or injured muscles in the human body. And now our first target disease is one that no one wants to talk about, yet over 200 million people worldwide suffer from it in silence for years. The disease is called stress urinary incontinence and represents the involuntary loss of urine by increased abdominal pressure. 75% of these affected people are women, and every 4th woman is affected after childbirth. And actually, the dark numbers of this taboo disease are much higher. Importantly, not only elderly people are affected, as the peak of the disease is actually in the mid-40s. Stress urinary incontinence represents a huge economic burden, both to healthcare and society, and the comorbidities are numerous, ranging from infections through isolation, even up to severe depression. Having no optimal satisfactory solution on the market, I decided to take the chance of translating what I learned behind the bench during my PhD time into a real life-changing cure for those people. And this all by using the patient's own muscle stem cells stimulated to do their job, namely personalized regeneration using no body foreign materials. My team of experienced researchers and physicians managed a successful translation of the process from the bench to a clean room compliant product manufacturing supported by Zurich. Now we are currently being at the end of our phase 1 clinical trial, and we are actively fundraising our Series A for the next phase, bringing a brighter future to all silently suffering patients in need. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we have 4 more startups presenting from Tech Forever. And first out of those 4 are Anaida Technologies.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gora Conley, co-founder and CEO of Anaida Technologies. At Anaida, we have a simple mission, which is to help people in making babies. But why would you need our help when it's so simple and everyone knows how it works? Next slide, please. Well, you see that it turns out that the easy and fun way doesn't always work out. And this is true for more and more couples globally. So what happens is that they turn to alternatives like in vitro fertilization. And then it's not so fun anymore because they have to pay lots of money, but yet you have low chances of success. So the couples have to do multiple cycles, which means more pain, more time, more costs. And everyone wants success the first time. And a crucial aspect to getting that success is in the choice of the right embryo for transfer. But current technology is still insufficient for this job. We have morphological analysis, the standard, but still qualitative, not very reliable. More and more, we're using genetics, but it's slow and invasive. We need something better. Next. So this is where we come in. We've developed a device that will enable doctors to choose the right embryo the first time. Comes as a consumable, like the prototype you see in the picture, and this will be selling directly to IVF clinics. It's based on a non-invasive technology, magnetic resonance, that you're probably familiar from MRI. What this can do is that it can access crucial information directly from inside the embryo, but without touching it. The doctor will simply have to place multiple embryos from the same patient into a device like this one, connect it to a machine for analysis, and get back a simple result, which is the embryos scored by viability. Wish I had time to tell you more. We have a lot of new exciting results. And I want to say we'll be soon fundraising for the next step, which is to take this device into the clinics and into the hands of doctors. So please contact me later if you want to know more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this is a great example of why you need a forum for, because then you just fill in that you want to discuss more with Gora, and he will tell you more about the exciting steps ahead. Now I leave the floor to Andrew at Viveka Biomed.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much. We've heard this morning from a number of the colleagues in the program what a major issue stress urinary incontinence is. We're bringing Contrail Active Guard to market, a unique bladder support for women. Next slide. This is and to demonstrate the product, this is a soft and very much a cushion soft, disposable daily use bladder support, which is vaginally inserted using a very simple applicator, which is designed actually to stop bladder leakage. And the whole concept of this is we are stopping the leakage rather than absorbing it like traditional pads. So, and that's really a really simple core consumer proposition and a core simple proposition to the healthcare professional. We're stopping it rather than absorbing it. It's a very simple mode of action. What we're doing is gently lifting the bladder, neck and urethra to give women back control. totally non-invasive. It's a drug-free, immediate solution, and we've 7 clinical trials supporting its efficacy. And what we're doing with this, because it is so soft and comfortable, it comes in 3 different sizes, so very easy for women to work out the correct fit themselves. It really enables them to immediately re-engage in exercise, take part in sport, run, swim, go to the gym, just really enjoy their family life. And the key differential here is that, this is working immediately. When women insert the device, this solves the problem straight away. It's a Class 2A medical device in Europe. We'll be bringing this to market within the next 14 days. We manufacture everything at our ISO 13485. We've already got some great strong interest from our UK Health Service, and delighted to announce this week that we have just got, literally in the last 24 hours, a listing confirmed with Walgreens Alliance Boots. So again, we believe this is a major opportunity for the Japanese market. It literally, it frees women from wearing pads, and in a market where pad sales are, adult pads are higher than baby diapers, this is an immediate opportunity. Yeah, we will be fundraising in July and just putting together a short list of potential, of interested investors, but we do see the Japanese market as a real opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now we're gonna continue to Preg Life. Malin, the floor is yours.
Thank you. You can change the slide straight away. So my name is Malin, and I'm the CPO of Preg Life, and also work with the growth. So Preg Life, what is it? Well, it's Northern Europe's #1 pregnancy and baby app. And next slide, please. Our reason for our success, I would say, is that we are driven by a very strong purpose. It is to empower families to give children a brighter future. And we do this by providing the parents with knowledge and support from day 1 of the pregnancy up until the child is 2 years old. And this purpose has served us very well. We are profitable, and we've been that for a few years, and we also expanded successfully the last years. Today we're live in 10 markets, where France and Spain were the last one that we added, and Italy is soon to come within a few weeks. Next slide, please. In Preg Life, so what is it that we offer? Well, in Preg Life, the users can follow their pregnancy and baby development, and we work together with a lot of experts. We have 1 to 2 midwives in each country that is working for us, for example. We have podcasts, yoga, and also tools such as weight curves, diary images, and vaccines to create the stickiness of the product. But even though this is very successful, Preg Life today is a one-size-fits-all. All users get the same content. And we think we can serve our purpose even more by adapting the app to our user-specific needs. So next slide, please. So a lot of the previous companies has mentioned this before, but pregnancy should be a very positive thing, and also giving birth, but it can also have a downside to it, because there is a lot of need for support during this period. So there are increased health risks, such as preeclampsia that has been mentioned, but also diabetes, depression, and stress. And when we look at the postpartum period, more than 80% experience raptures, around 50% get baby blues, and about of these, 8 to 20% develop postpartum depression. So this is a period where we really want to be our users' best support in the very, very sensitive times. So what we're working on now, if you can change the slide, please, is that we're working on personalized Preg Life today. So we're doing a massive consent work to make sure we're compliant and being risk-free in investing in. And we are now beginning to personalize the app to our users' needs and preferences. And the next steps of this is, of course, to connect our users with the healthcare providers, and also be a player in the industry that can spot risk factors and help the users prevent health problems before they arise. And we also believe that by us being the hub for this, we can also help the healthcare industry with knowledge to improve their services to also serve our users' need better. So that was a short presentation of Preg Life. If you want to know more and want to get in touch, you have my details.
Thank you. Short, but very sharp. So now we're going to move on to the last pitch before we take some questions. And I'm happy to leave the floor to Stephanie at Testmate.
Thank you, Anna. I'm Stephanie Koutsoukas. I'm the Chief Business Officer of TestMate Health. We are developing a test that will allow to conduct rapid testing of STDs at home. So today, actually, I'm going to talk about the very unsexy topic, and that is sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. Next slide, please. If you've ever been tested for STDs, then you probably experienced a rather long and frustrating process. In times where we can test for COVID at home, the process to test for other diseases seems quite outdated, especially when it comes to STDs, STD tests are often conducted by young professionals who want a fast and convenient option that is compatible with their lifestyle. They're not alone. In fact, the WHO recognizes the lack of rapid STD testing as one of the major health issues of our societies. We saw a lot of startups today that are actually doing business in the fertility segment. Well, the fact is, one leading cause of infertility are chlamydia and gonorrhea, two major STDs that we can detect with our urine-based test. Well, since we can detect these diseases in urine, we thought, why couldn't we create a pregnancy-style quick test for these common STDs? Why couldn't we become the clear blue of STD testing so that people could have a home device to get results in 15 minutes? The fact is today, people still need to send in the test to a lab, and it takes days before they get the results. So next slide, please. So this is what we developed. Our urine test tells users in minutes if they have one of the 4 common STDs. You can perform it anytime, anywhere with a lab-grade accuracy. And you can get connected to a doctor via our app for follow-up and treatment. The solution may seem very simple, but the technology behind is quite sophisticated as it crosses various multiple scientific disciplines. There are 3 parts of the product. There is the urine collection. This contains an integrated filter with a polymer that captures DNA of the STDs. This then plugs into a disposable test kit, and the test kit is the second part of the product. It contains the reagents for diagnostic assay. The result is then seen as a simple color change, just as in a pregnancy test. The app then reads the results and provides guidance for follow-up with a doctor and via telemedicine platforms. Next slide. So what makes us unique is that as opposed to our competitors, we can, first of all, provide an end-to-end process. So we not only conduct the test and then leave the patient alone, no, we can connect them to a doctor. And the second part that makes us unique is that we can just we are quick. We can conduct a test with a lab-grade accuracy at home, and no one else can do that right now. Well, our technology is a platform technology and will also enable us to detect other diseases in the future. We are starting to fundraise Series A soon. So if you are interested, please contact us. We'll leave our names and details in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. So now we have the time for 2 to 3 questions from the audience. And it's a little bit on a first come, first served basis. So the one that are screaming the loudest or being the fastest will get the chance. So I'll leave the floor open, and either you can write in the chat or you just unmute yourself. So we have one question in the chat that is a bit more to everyone. So I ask it loud, and then I give the chance for the ones of you that want to answer. How do all the startups tackling these sensitive issues help women talk about these issues and seek help? From Sanjana Rao. Who would like to answer that?
In our case, it's quite clear. We're helping physicians with patients who already come to their clinics. So they're coming to gynecologists and GPs with vaginitis symptoms. They're suffering that much that they overcome their shyness and the embarrassment. And then the physicians will use our genie to help them to take the right decision on treatment.
Thank you. So we have another question, which will also be the last one until we have to move on to the next part of the program. So it's taking into account the complexity of pregnancy. Why aren't we moving towards creating and growing babies in labs? Whoa, that's... as a woman, I would never want to be pregnant. And if I ever want a child, I would look for a lab to grow it. Why modern technology is not offering that? So who would like to answer this future-looking question?
We go into philosophy here.
Yeah. Well, I can answer from a preg-life perspective. That's, of course, now we are mentioning problems that arise all the time, but pregnancy doesn't have to be all dark and problematic. It's also a wonderful experience where you feel something living inside you. Of course, we should try to make that progress as the pregnancy as good as possible for everyone. But at Preg-Life, we try to balance it to be very realistic of what the problem is, but also try to create community and connectedness during the pregnancy, which is a very positive experience. I'm pregnant myself, so I speak from experience.
Great, thank you. I saw a message from a colleague. We have a few raising hands in the audience. I would like to ask a question, but unfortunately, I cannot see them. So Simone, if you see the raised hands, feel free to pass on the word.
I think one was Marlene, and the raised hand is now gone, so I don't remember, sorry. Was it Andrew?
I just wanted to add to the question, the comment regarding what are we doing to help women. I mean, this is core, I think, in terms of addressing the real sensitive issues in these areas. I think it affects all of us, but I know that's got to be fundamental to what we do with all our social media to really make all the products very accessible to women, and I think that's fundamental.
That's a very important point.
Yeah, and I also raised the hand before when it was about how do we help women talk about these issues. And at Preg-Life, we have something we call like Break the Stigma, because we have more than 700,000 monthly active users in our app. So we do bring up sensitive topics like urine leakage or not loving your baby at the first sight or gaining weight during pregnancy to normalize it and talk about it. And right now we have a trimester 4 focus. So we're also talking to midwives clinics and these kind of industries where we place material regarding awareness to seek help. You have right to seek help. Don't take this as normal. You have the right to get the help you're looking for.
And following on this, actually, one of the purpose of building the Tech Forever initiatives is to create a platform where women can submit their concerns, their problems to us, and so we are sort of the entry point for you to share your concern and problems, so that we can use our network's expertise to help solve these problems. By the way, if you look into our website, there is a forum options where you can submit your idea and your problems.
So with that comment, I think I will hand over the word to Nicola right now, that will bring us to the 3 selected Japanese startups. And I saw there were some more questions in the chat, so we can have the chance to discuss them in the end of the event. So Nicola, I'll leave the floor to you.
Thank you, Anna. I think it's very important to ask these kind of philosophical questions. It's one of our more practical or more general questions. That's one of the objectives of the Tech Forever initiative. And as Lan said, there is a permanent stream or channel which is on the website for this. But of course, the purpose of this roadshow is definitely to engage into these conversations. as well as learning about what is going on elsewhere. And part of this this learning is learning what are doing other countries in terms of femtech technologies. And we were pleased to invite 3 of the main startups in this domain to pitch today. We will welcome 3 Japanese companies and founders. There is Luna, Varinos, and Vivola. So we will start with Luna. Luna is I'm not sure but if still qualified to startups because they have been on the market for the last 20 years. There's one of the most known companies in Japan in the femtech domain. And but yeah, there is the best person to tell you more about Luna is Mahaya Hine-san. She's the general manager of Luna, which is a division of a larger company, which is called MTI. So Hine-san, the floor is yours. Dozo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. You can share your screen if you wish. Yes. And you are on mute.
Hi. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Maya Hine. I'm from MTA company and responsible for organization the business for women's healthcare. Firstly, let me introduce our company briefly. MTI was established 26 years ago. From the very beginning, we specialized in mobile content services such as music, weather forecast, and healthcare. Actually, we are one of the most successful companies in smartphone business in Japan. Today, I'm going to introduce the women's healthcare service, Luna, that I'm in charge of. Luna is said to be the pioneer and leading service in Japanese femtech market now. Luna started offering a subscription website for mobile phone in 2000. We celebrated the 20th anniversary last year. The main function is period and ovulation prediction. At the beginning of the service, there was no other mobile service like Luna in Japan. Many women recorded and managed their menstrual cycle in their calendar notebooks. And many women didn't know when their ovulation date was. But knowing the ovulation date is very important for women who's willing to get pregnant. With Luna, all they had to do was only entering their period to Luna. And the user can know her next period or ovulation easily by email. The monthly price at that time was just 180 Japanese yen. It's under $2. In several years from the first launch, Luna was not recognized much to target users. Therefore, we decided to invest a large advertising budget for Luna in 2008. And the number of subscribers scaled up to 2 million in the next 3 years. With the spread of smartphone, we switched from a full subscription service to a freemium model. We released an application with simple function for free. As a result, the number of users has increased dramatically. Now it's over 60 million. In females healthcare category, we've become the most famous and popular brand in Japan. And nearly 300,000 users get pregnant and give birth each year. Another aspect of Luna is big data. We invented an original algorithm to predict users' next menstruation and ovulation for individual users. Before in Japan, original method was common method to predict next menstruation. However, it was uniformly and not suitable for women with short and long menstrual cycle. Luna developed a calculation algorithm that matches the individual menstrual cycle with big data analysis using the data of 3 million people. This algorithm's predict is more accurately, which makes the pregnancy rate 23% higher than before. We patented and published paper about these findings. In addition to our own research, we are also engaged in many joint research with national academia. Some studies have been published. Many researchers expect Luna as a platform that already has a large amount of data and can recruit many subjects and acquire data for prospective surveys to find new facts to contribute to women's healthcare. The next slide will introduce our recent business and project. So 4 years ago, we launched a new service named Luna Medical. It shares users' recorded data such as their menstrual cycle and basal body temperature information with gynecological doctors based on users' consent. Patients can save their time and effort filling out questionnaires, and doctors can see detailed daily data from it. Luna Medical has been used in more than 1,000 clinics now. And as you know, the penetration rate of pairs in Japan is extremely low. Recently, the idea that menstruation should be well controlled has been gradually talked about in Japan. We provide services such as prescribing and delivering pills for online medical care, and applications that support continued pill medication and sharing data with doctors. This is a joint project between 3 companies, as a pharmaceutical wholesaler and a pharmaceutical company. And last year, we started a new project named Femcation. Femcation aims to create opportunities to correctly learn about the complex and diverse women's bodies and feelings, and to create a society where people can feel close to each other regardless of their age or gender. So finally, I'd like to introduce Luna's mission. We'll continue to value being close to women, and we empower change to a society where women can live comfortably. Through this, will contribute to realize women's happiness. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Inessa. So please stay with us. We will keep a few questions for you at the end of the Japanese startup presentations in a few minutes. So yeah, Luna is making something important in Japan for in the femtech industry. As we addressed, as we talked about it last Tuesday, fertility is a huge topic in Japan, and the next startup is a company who is definitely changing the landscape in this domain. They are called Varinos. And they are presented by Sakura Bassin, who is a PhD and CEO of Varinos. Yeah, it's quite a high profile because you worked at Riken, which is a quite famous genomic science center in Japan. But I'll let you the floor, Sakuraba-san, please.
Thank you very much. And okay. So, can you see my first slide?
Yes.
Is it okay? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Yoshi Sakuraba from Vaginal. Today, I'm going to talk about endometrial microbiome testing, our main service. So, let me introduce our company at first. Vaginal is a clinical testing company providing genomic testing using next generation sequencers. So Yoko and I started this company, but before that, we were the Illumina employees, both. We are using these next generation sequencers, and we got several awards, and last year we won Japan Venture Award top prize. We started 2017, and same year we launched the endometrial microbiome testing. So we also provide PGTA, pre-implantational genetic testing. We based on Tokyo and Odaiba area, which is the Olympic area, and we have 30 employees, and we have analyzed over 15,000 samples, and we have a lot of papers with collaborators. So let me introduce endometrial microbiome testing. So this is very new area. Before this paper, many physicians have believed that the uterine is germ-free, I mean sterile. But recent technology revealed that there is a bacterial environment in uterus. So this paper also showed that lactobacillus is very important for pregnancy. And this is main data. So if you have lactobacillus-rich environment, you will have a better pregnancy outcome compared to the lactobacillus-poor environment. So we developed this testing. So and we published the similar data in Japanese population. Those are the papers. So we developed this testing as clinical testing. So physicians get the samples from uterine and send us the sample. We will extract the DNA and amplify the DNA and check the sequence. So we can figure out which bacteria and which percentage. So these are the typical report. So left side is a good example. So if you are normal, you will have almost 100% lactobacillus environment. But these are the typical infertility women, less lactobacillus and other bacteria. And this environment can be improved. This is our paper, and these are the before and after. In this case, yellow bar shows the lactobacillus. If you have less lactobacillus environment, but you can improve by proper interventions. We are focusing on the lactofilling to improve the environment. This is one of the example. These women have a typical bad environment. You can see Gardnerella, 20% or 30%. But she took lactofilling for 2 weeks. So the environment was much better. And she stopped taking the lactofilling for 3 weeks, and the situation was recovered, and she took lactic feeding again for 3 months, and the environment was improved. So we are offering this testing and lactic feeding as oral supplemental. So we also launched the consumer service for the endometrial microbiome testing recently. Okay. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, Sakuraba-san, thank you. It's very interesting. We keep, as for Hine-san, we keep the questions for the end for you. Our last startup, Japanese startup, is recorded because Tsunoda-san has an impeachment at the last minute, but she was very kind enough to record herself. So we will see her, watch her presenting her solution. She's speaking very fast, and we subtitled, so keep on track with her presentation. It's in Japanese, but subtitled in English. So the company is Vivola. Barbara, if you want to press, let's go.
ビボラ株式会社の角田です。よろしくお願いいたします。弊社はですね、女性医療×AI というところを事業領域に2020年5月に会社を作っております。初期は私自身が原体験のある不妊治療の領域でサービスを展開しております。メンバーは元ソニーの R&D 出身の私、角田と、コンピューターサイエンスの領域で博士号を持っている CTO の鈴木、医療監修は業界権威の斉藤先生に入っていただきながら NPO とも連携してサービスを進めております。まずはじめになぜ不妊治療なのかについてですが、日本では2019年の出生数86万で前年度よりも 6% 減少した30年ぶりの減少率ということで、少子化が非常に深刻になっています。一方で、産みたくても産めない患者というのは50万人不妊治療患者が増えておりまして、グローバルに見ても最も日本が体外受精の多い国になっています。そこからただ生まれてくる体外受精での赤ちゃんは6、7万人というところで、この50万人の方々の妊娠率、妊娠しやすい環境を整えていくことで、十分少子化にもインパクトが与えられると弊社は考えています。そこで弊社が捉えている患者さんの課題3つです。日本では不妊治療はまだ今自由診療であるために病院で治療方針や治療費用というのが異なっていますので、そこを最初に選ぶ患者さんのリテラシーが求められてしまっています。さらに通院が始まりますと非常に通院頻度が高いので仕事をしている方の2割は退職してしまうと言われています。そして治療自体がですね、弊社のデータベースでも治療に成功した方で約25ヶ月と非常に長期化するところも患者さんの負担になっています。これら3つの課題に対しての弊社のアプローチです。まず1つ目に関しては定量的な治療のデータエビデンスをしっかりとご提供して患者さんが理解しやすい治療の世界を目指します。そして一部オンライン診療を取り入れることで仕事との両立が可能な世界を築きます。この2つのサービスによって弊社としては患者データ、治療のデータを収集させていただき、最終的には個別最適化した治療プログラムの構築というようなビジネス展開を想定しております。まずはじめに最初のデータエビデンスの方に関しては、試みというアプリをリリースしております。こちらは通院スケジュールが管理できるようなカレンダー機能と、さらにそこに治療データなどを細かくログができる機能があります。そのデータのログを見ながら、統計や同質データという過去に不妊治療で成功した方のデータを閲覧して治療計画を立てていき、さらに不妊治療の方々同士の SNS の機能で定性的な情報交換というところもできるようなアプリになっています。弊社の特徴一番データ分析のところにありまして、同質データというのを提供しています。これは自分と似た人の治療をより参考にしてほしいという思いから、治療 データを掲載しておりまして、同質性の定義として卵子の質を表す女性の年齢と卵子の残り数を表すと言われる AMH、女性ホルモンの値と男性、女性ともに疾患というところを、妊用性に影響のある疾患というところを同質性の定義としておいてデータを抽出しております。さらにオンライン診療について少しご紹介させていただきますと、非常に日本は関東圏に病院が集中してまして、地方に患者さんが通える専門医の病院が非常に少なくなっています。そこで弊社は地元の産婦人科の先生、ここは不妊治療をしない先生と専門医の先生を弊社のデータベースを通して治療データをやり取りしていただくことで、地方の患者さんにも治療機会を創出するというようなシステムを現在開発中です。で、このシステムはもちろん地方の方はもちろん都市部の方にも使えると思ってまして、今は非常に病院での待ち時間が長いのは血液検査の結果などを待たなければいけないというのがあるので、一回検査に行ったら一度帰ってもらってオンラインで先生と診察をするというような流れに持っていくことで、待ち時間が長く仕事との両立もしやすくなるというふうに考えています。マネタイズについてはですね、前半のアプリの方では考えておらず、後半のオンライン診療や治療プログラムの構築というところで、病院様からお金をいただくことを考えております。弊社の活動を簡単にご紹介しますと、以上のようなアプリ、システムの開発以外にも、こういったシステム、アプリを使って患者さんが治療を進めていく上でも、非常に当事者以外の治療への理解というところが重要になると思っているので、医師と啓発コンテンツの制作であったり、企業さんへのセミナーというところも合わせて行っております。はい、以上です。ご清聴ありがとうございました。
That was a very effective presentation, quite quick. So don't worry. We'll keep the movie available to you. We can share later with all the presentations to everyone, so that you have more time to deep dive. Quickly, yeah. So I will now want to thank you, the three Japanese startup guests that we had today. I think Ine-san had to leave quickly, but we still have Sakuraba-san available, and I want now to open the questions. So if you have any questions to anyone. It's, I mean, not only to the Japanese companies, but also to the Tech Forever Japanese company. No, not Japanese, Tech Forever startups. It's totally possible. Anna, maybe you want to introduce the contact request as well.
Yeah, I think we could introduce that, and then we come back to the questions. So here is this form that I've been mentioning quite a few times during today. So we would really like to organize one-to-one meetings with the startups or with the representatives that would be interesting for you or your company to meet. So either you can just follow this QR code, or one of my colleagues will also send the link in the chat. So it's a very, very simple form. It doesn't take longer than a minute or so to fill in. You just tell us who are you, who can we contact you, how can we contact you, and who would you like to meet? And then the work is on us. So please feel free. I don't know, Barbara or Simon, if you also could send the link in the chat in case you don't have a perfect, Lan did it already. So in case you don't have a QR reader close by, you will have the link there. Copy paste it, either fill it in right now or right after the event. So with that being said, I would also just like to mention, before we are opening up to questions, that our next roadshow for the Tech Forever program will be the Zurich edition, and it will be 1st of July in the afternoon Swiss time. So for our Japanese guests, it will be very late and a little bit more possible to attend for our American guests. But I hope all of you can join us. You have the bit link there, And feel free to sign up, and we'll come back with more information later about the program. So one last thing that I just want to say before we open up the questions is really to thank you all. Thank you all the startups. Thank you all the speakers. Thank you all of you in the audience to have been with us for these soon 2 very intense hours. I hope you found it useful and that we can connect with me and the rest of the team. We are always on LinkedIn, so there you can always send a contact request, and we hope to stay in touch. So I think we had one question in the chat that I didn't have the chance to read before, so we're going to start with that one. And that was about the menopause data. So I just gotta pull it up. Takeda-san, I don't know if you are here, if you want to ask the question yourself. Otherwise, I will read it. But I give a few.
I can talk. I'm here. Hi, everyone. Well, my question is, my understanding, at least in Japan, is that there's not much research data available around menopause issues. That was mentioned in the previous session of this Tech Forever meeting, I think. I was wondering whether that is changing, like more attentions are putting into this field of problems. Now I can see through the slides you all shared, but the research and efforts, are they more put into solving the problems around menopause?
I don't know who would like to start to answer that. It's a big question, so I think we'll have multiple stakeholders talking, but who would like to start?
Maybe I will start from the health insurance point of view. I'm not talking about Japan here. I'm talking more about specifically for Switzerland and probably Europe at large. It's a growing issue. The health insurance company, especially in Japan, in Switzerland, is paying for leaves when someone is on leave, on sick leave or everything. Our mission is to pay the salary to the company. And the feedbacks that we get from our large corporate companies, clients, are that actually it's a growing topic that must be addressed. Not and addressed in the right way. It's just preventing the women who are in menopause to actually take. Just for the menopause to happen as best as possible, and to limit the impact within the company. So I'm sorry to be very straight and forward on this topic. But it's a reflection. It's a reflect of the situation on the market, especially in Switzerland. So many menopause women are taking sick leaves, and in the past it was probably drawn into different other topics, and it's becoming a visible topic now, especially in Japan and Switzerland. And it's quite important that people are starting to talk about it instead of putting that into a big basket of some women's problems. They are specifically targeting these precise menopause issues. But I don't know if we have some.
Thank you very much.
Some startups specialized in this today. No, not really.
So maybe we could open up for more questions. Either you just unmute yourself, or if you prefer, you can also write in the chat. if you are one of those that raise your hand, it's not really good because I cannot really see who is raising your hand or not. So it's better if you write in the chat or just go ahead and take the floor.
I will take the opportunity of this silence to ask a question. I think we have Minagawa-san in the audience from Global Brain. She was presenting last Tuesday with, and she's heading the investment of one of the largest femtech investor in Switzerland. And they invested in two of the Japanese startups that they presented. My question, Minagawa-san, is do you see the presented solution from Tech Forever today as matching the Japan social and market needs? What is your views on that? I hope you are still here. I don't see you, but...
Thank you very much, Nicolas. And thank you very much for all the startups who have presented here. It was really, really interesting and insightful. I learned a lot from you, all of you. So thank you very much for the past. And yeah, the question, Nicolas' question is kind of very big. So probably what I could say is that I think probably when you consider to come into Japanese market, probably the kind of like B2C model or the offering something directly to the users or to somehow partnering the B player, but finally you're going to offer your service to the end user. That would be probably the faster case you can get into the market. And if you are more or less in medical field, I think all of you know that, but in Japan we have PMDA, which is like FDA in US. So you have to go through all the clinical trial or approval from that authority. So that is the biggest difference when you look into the Japanese market. But actually, all of the companies have very strong technological background and also very what you say the kind of very innovative approach, which Japanese players, most of them Japanese players do not achieve yet now. So I think I'm really happy to have chat and also the discussion with many of you. And yeah, probably I could give you some more details about Japanese perspectives for each one. One by one, I think each one have different perspectives when you're looking into your own business. And also, I'd like to learn more about what's happening in each area in Europe. Sorry, Nicolas, I'm not sure.
Sorry. I'm sorry for asking such a large question.
To your question.
No, it's a very good answer. My question was too large, and of course, I was not expecting some peaking in the solutions. I totally agree that it's very.
If I could add one more thing. Yeah. So in Japan, I'm launching the kind of like community for the all the players related to femtech area, including startup and enterprise companies, sometimes government, and also research institutions. And also like experts such as lawyers or kind of like some other experts. So in terms of the interest from enterprise companies, I actually see so many large players are also interested in this field. But the situation is that most of them do not have actual idea how to start kind of like make first step into this area. So you can have many potential partners here in Japan, and especially in healthcare medical area, that will be the most important, one of the most important things to have the partner who really know the market and also the regulations and cultural situation in Japan. So yeah, we are quite welcome everyone to come or to get interested in Japanese market. Thanks, Nicolas.
Yeah, thank you. If I take the opportunity to ask a question to Sakuraba-san on your growth, well, are you expecting to go overseas? What are your plans? Do you want, because you are on a very interesting technology and market, and the need is worldwide. What are your plans on this side?
Yeah, thank you for questions. We are now preparing to expand the business to other than Japan. So the timely questions. And we are now considering to have the partnership with global company to expand the business.
Okay. And do you focus a particular geography like the US or?
Yes, and China is a little bit late stage because they cannot send the sample to Japan. So we are now focusing on Asia and Europe.
Okay, nice. So we would be very happy to host you if you want to settle down in Switzerland. That's the perfect place for growing a tech company.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank
you. Okay, thank you.
So maybe I can just add as well, we're going a little bit over time. So if you have to leave, of course, we are 5 minutes past our time. So you are free to leave, but feel also free to stay and to join the dialogue and the discussion and have the chance to have a little bit more of discussion and questions.
Maybe I would like to invite those who haven't filled out the survey and would like to talk to us. Don't hesitate to click on the link and give us some feedback. If not for the further contact, at least your feedback about today's event.
So, I mean, I think we can just, if there is somebody that is a little bit shy behind the computer, I want to give the chance for just a few more seconds or a minute or so. This is the time. Please feel free to ask a question. If you are a bit shy of your question, you can also send it directly in a private message to me, and then I will not tell where it comes from. Because we are still at 35 people in the room. So that for me shows there is still interest. You still want to stay with us, but maybe you don't want to ask your question really openly, publicly. So for another minute or so, feel free to send me a private message and then we'll slowly wrap up. What I would like to mention as well is that Tech Forever is really about collaboration. So it's not only me or only Nicola or only Lan or that's been talking today that is Tech Forever. We really want to engage the community and to really create a movement. Because as it's said in the movie behind Nicola that has been running now, is the 4%, is that only 4% of health investments is dedicated to women's health. And that is the core. That is why we do all of this, why we want to bring Femtech to bring the visibility to show that women's health is not a niche. It's not something special. It's something that affects more than half of the population, and it's related to all of us. All of us have women in our surroundings. So unfortunately, I haven't got any messages privately either with questions. So I think it's time to wrap up. So again, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was been a great pleasure. And this is the end of the event, but it's just the start of the collaboration. And we really hope to build a strong bridge to Tokyo and to Japan, and that we really can stay in touch. Again, feel free to send me the form or add me or all the others in the team on LinkedIn. And we're really happy to stay in the discussion, because as Nicolas said, the cause for women's health is so big and so important. So we need to do it all together. And with those words, thank you so much for today. And if not before, see you 1st of July for the Zurich Roadshow.